Hey guys, it's Crystal from Essentially Tarot. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is our first official video, public video anyway, so I'm really excited. I thought it would be cool to start with one of my favorite types of videos to watch, which is a deck collection video. This will probably end up being multi-part just because my camera tends to cut out after a while because it gets too hot, and also I don't want people sitting for, you know, an hour and a half just watching me endlessly drone on and on and on and on. So I'm gonna stop this particular video probably around the 20-minute mark, and this will end up being kind of a series of videos. So if you would like to see the deck collection in its entirety, please subscribe and like and all the good things. Hit the notification. Like, there's no liking. Well, I mean, you can like the video. Give it a thumbs up. But yeah, definitely subscribe, hit the notification bell so that way you can see when the remainder videos are uploaded. If you hear talking in the background, it's my son in the other room playing Xbox. It is what it is. I'm so sorry. But anyway, let's jump right in because I don't want this to be forever long. So I thought we would start off today with my very first deck, which is nothing glamorous. It is the Miss Cleo's Power Tarot. I know, it's okay to laugh. These are the backings. Let me turn it around. I do read reversal, so I apologize, you guys, if there's going to be a bunch of cards that are reversed. Now, I bought this deck as my very first deck, and I bought it really, honestly, because it was the most inexpensive deck I could find. I wasn't sure if tarot was going to be for me. I wasn't sure if it was something that was going to take off, so I really didn't want to spend a whole lot of money. Now, people might be kind of turned away from this deck because it is, you know, associated with Miss Cleo. I, for one, love Miss Cleo. She was kind of my first introduction into the metaphysical as a kid. I will say, for being an inexpensive deck, the cardstock is really nice. The artwork is a little archaic in that you can see, like, people don't really have eyes. Their eyes are kind of just flesh toned. It is Egyptian themed, as you can obviously see. I'm not going to go through every single card. That would just be ridiculous. But honestly, I will never get rid of this deck just for the emotional value. You know, I do get clear, concise readings from it. I don't know. It's just, this was my first deck, and this was like my first aha. This was the deck that I had all sorts of crazy experiences with and all sorts of readings with. So it's not going anywhere. Again, it reads really, really well. It was really inexpensive. And if you know, if you're not a fan of Miss Cleo, if you can get past the fact that it's associated with her, it's not a bad deck. It's a great little first deck. And again, it is relatively inexpensive. So that's the Miss Cleo's Power Tarot. The next deck that I will pull out is this one. This is ironically the second deck I bought, and I'm not doing things in order, but I just thought it made sense to do this one next because it is the Universal Waite. These are the backings. And honestly, when I bought the Miss Cleo's Power Tarot, as we know, a lot of guidebooks, a lot of websites, they all reference the Rider-Waite-Smith system. They all reference the artwork a lot. And I just felt like using the Miss Cleo's Power Tarot was missing out on some of the symbolism of the Rider-Waite-Smith. So this was the deck that I found first. And I think, you know, it is a nice kind of midway point between the Radiant Smith and the, they now have the Centennial Edition as well, which is a little more muted, a little more vintage looking. I feel like coloration wise, this one's kind of a nice middle ground. They've sharpened up the images and made them a little crisper, a little clearer. So yeah, I mean, it's your traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. Some of these are upside down, sorry. all of those are upside down. So yes, this is my second deck. It's a tried and true. Again, this is another deck that'll never go anywhere. I don't know if you can tell how grimy these edges are, just because this was my workhorse. This is what I always reached for. You can see there's like some red staining from my bag. This is just a comfortable deck, and I'm actually gonna leave it out because I swore I wouldn't buy another Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I didn't need another Rider-Waite-Smith deck. As much as I love the Centennial Edition, I didn't purchase it because I just felt silly having this one and then adding another Rider-Waite-Smith if I didn't need one. And then this was released. The Radiant Wise Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot from Lo Scarabeo. Now this is kind of being touted as an updated Dirty Pam. And if you're not familiar with the Dirty Pam, I'll show you what that means to you. I lost my Fool card. There we go. You can see it is a little distressed, a little vintage. It looks like it has seen some things. Here's the backing on these guys. It's really pretty. I like it. I don't know. Maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it just feels, again, vintage. It feels old. It feels like it knows things. And I don't know. I couldn't really help myself when it came out. The Dirty Pam, I forget what the actual name of that deck was. I'm terrible. I'm so sorry. It's been out of print for some time. And, you know, when they released this one, it's as you can see, borderless. It's kind of zoomed in. The images are just bigger. There's no, you know, there's no border. And comparison wise, let's see if I could just find the Fool real quick in my Radiant, or my, not Radiant. Oh, it's right there. It was the first card in my Universal Waite. So you can see the difference. We're kind of zoomed in a little bit. It is a little darker. It is distressed. And if you can see, let's get the camera to focus. This, again, they've kind of filled in all the small details, made it really nice and crisp and clear, which is nice. But this feels a little more realistic and original to Pamela Coleman Smith's artwork. So it is very different in style from the one that I have. I will obviously continue to use both. The one complaint I have about this deck is that some of the darker cards, where's the Tower, are just so dark. Like this Tower just seems so dark to me, whereas, let me find, I should have done this ahead of time, sorry guys. Oh, right there. Like look at the difference between those two towers. There's a shadow. And like I get, you know, the Tower is supposed to be a darker card, right? But it's just, I mean, it's like, it's so different. So that's going to take some adjustment on my part, but just from, you know, what I'm used to seeing. But it's beautiful. I had to have it. The aces for some reason really pop in this style. And again, it's a Rider-Waite Smith deck. It just has that really nice borderless, distressed thing going on. And I don't know, I had to grab it because I just couldn't seem to help myself, even though I said I wouldn't do it, but here we are. So that is the difference between the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot from Lo Scarabeo and the Universal Waite, because those are the two that I currently have. I don't know. Let's get these put away, sorry. All right, next up, and you guys are gonna laugh at me because I'm like, I don't need another Rider-Waite Smith deck, but next up I have this guy right here. And this is a Rider-Waite Smith clone, but it's really like a direct Rider-Waite Smith clone. This is the Mountain Dream Tarot by B. Nettles. And here's the backing on this guy. And this deck is really fun because B. Nettles was a photography student at college, and in 1970 she had this idea to recreate the Rider-Waite Smith Tarot using photographs of friends and family members. And so it is, you know, of course, very stylized in the early 70s. It's very kitschy, very vintage, from their clothing to just, you know, some of the choices made. But I don't know, for some reason when I saw it, I just kind of had to have it. And so I picked it up. Like, look at that Fool. Isn't he adorable? Look at his like corduroy bell bottoms that he has going on. The only problem I have with this deck is for some reason, oh, we have reversals, I'm sorry. Here's the Ten of Swords. For some reason, I just don't have a really easy time connecting with it. I don't know if it's because they are real people in the pictures. I don't know if that makes sense. But I had a hard time kind of getting clear, concise messages from it. It's something that I'm going to have to come back to and obviously work with a little bit more. But like here, this four of Wands is in front of, like, you know, a modern day apartment building or a dorm room maybe. And I just had like a little bit of trouble connecting. So we're gonna come back to it, try it again. You know, unfortunately I went through like a crazy buying spree during quarantine, and I have had so many new decks come in that I haven't really had the time. That Nine of Cups is funny. I haven't really had the time to connect with and work with all of my new decks the way that I normally would like to. So I haven't been able to give this maybe as much time as I would normally have given it if it were the only new deck to come in, you know what I mean? You got me? All right, let's go to another Rider-Waite-Smith clone. Let's pull out the Modern Witch Tarot. So cute. Again, another pretty direct clone. I haven't really been sharing any of the little white books with you guys, and I apologize. This one comes with a great little white book. It's actually, sorry, I'm like out of frame. It's actually a little hardcover book, which I think is just so cute. And honestly, I think this is the only deck I have that has come with a hardcover little white book. Yeah, I don't know. I'm into it. I will say I haven't really utilized this little white book because, again, it is a Rider-Waite-Smith clone. It reads like Rider-Waite-Smith, just a little more modernized. Here's your Fool. Isn't she cute? She reminds me of Sabrina from the Netflix Sabrina. I love her. But yeah, I mean, it's a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, so I'm so sorry, I'm like up in the camera. It reads like Rider-Waite-Smith. There's really no reason for me to pull out the little book on this. It reads clearly. There is that added layer again of being a little more modern. I love the kings in this deck because, let me bring this in. This king's a little more masculine, but a lot of the kings in the court cards tend to be a little more androgynous, which I really enjoy. The pages are really cute. I really enjoy, because when you're reading court cards, I think we get stuck sometimes in the gender of the person being presented to us. Like, here's the emperor. The emperor is very androgynous. And I think it can sometimes take away from the messages we're being given if, you know, we're kind of stuck on a gender thing. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I love this deck. I love the representation in this deck. We have all different body types, all different races. Again, it's kind of got this gender fluid vibe going on, where there's people who present more masculine, more feminine, more androgynous. I don't know, I love it. I really, 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 really enjoy this one. I will say it has some killer cardstock. Do you see how fat this deck is? It's so fat. Like, here's the Rider-Waite, the Universal Waite. Look at the difference. It's almost 2 times the size. So it's a much bigger deck. And it makes it a little harder to, I'm sorry, I'm mouthing things at my kids. It makes it a little harder to shuffle. Kids, sorry guys. It's just like Facebook Live, but you know, try to edit that out. Okay, next up, let me grab, oh, where did I put it? Hold on. I put it away. That was silly. All right, so I'm going to show these two together just because they are of a similar vein. We have the Tarot in Wonderland by Barbara Moore, and then the Wonderland Tarot by Chris Abbey and Morgana Abbey. Sorry, I had to bring that closer so I could see. Now, I own both of these because I love Alice in Wonderland. I think it lends itself really well to tarot and oracle, just because you have this whole fantasy thing. Obviously, this is a tarot in a tin. We'll start with this guy first. And I like the way, you know, it's that fantastical, it's that suspension of belief. Here's your little white book. It's upside down. The little white book of this is not bad. It's a typical little white book. Your suits are changed, so I'll show you that. But this is the one whose artwork I kind of prefer, for the reason that these are the backings. For the reason that it just seems to be closer to what I think of when I think of the book artwork for Alice in Wonderland. Now you can see the wands are peppermills. So there. Look at this guy. I just can't. It's so cute. Oh, we just got a whole bunch of wands. This is the deck that I'm actually currently working with right now. So it is shuffled fairly well. Hats are, as you can see up here, cups. They have the hearts for like a playing card deck, which I think is cute. This kills me. Swords are flamingos. Can you see that? It's the Four of Swords, but they're flamingos. And oysters are pentacles. And we're missing one deck, right? We're missing... No, I guess we did them all, right? Wands, swords, cups, pen. Yeah, we got them all. Look at those little oysters. I don't know. I love this deck. I have no problem reading with this. I think it reads really well. It has given me some deep messages. It is a little funny in that, kind of in an Alice in Wonderland type way. Oops, just dropped that one. It does read a little almost riddly for me. So like if I'm doing a spread and I have something like, you know, what do I need to work on in order to find my truth? And it'll show me something like, you know, I don't know, the Page of Swords reversed. And I'm like, well, in order to find my truth, I need to watch what I say. Interesting. Now, obviously, that's not exactly how I would interpret that. But like, sometimes I kind of have to search for the meaning in certain questions. It just kind of feels a little tricky sometimes. I don't know. I can't think of a good way to explain it. Oh, they're all running away. I had a good example and then it just went right out of my head because of course why would I be able to remember things when I need to remember them. But yeah, so that's the Wonderland Tarot. I love it. Again, it is out of print in the normal tarot size, in the traditional tarot size. Look at that 10 of Swords. So yeah, but it is definitely available in the Tarot in a Tin. It's relatively inexpensive, and if you are like me and you're drawn to this particular artwork, it's worth the money. So next we'll jump into the Tarot in Wonderland. I think I'll only have time for maybe another deck or two before I have to call it quits on this. That went really quickly. This has a huge, I can't even fit it in frame. This has a huge, fat, beautiful guidebook. And what I love about this is if you are not intimately familiar with Alice in Wonderland or Alice Through the Looking Glass in the book sense, if maybe you've only ever seen the movies, whether it be the live action or the Disney, this book really covers the different characters in the deck, what you're seeing in the scene. It sets the scene for you, so you have that reference point in the story as well. These are the backings, which I don't love because they're not reversible, and I can find that to be very distracting with the Alice and then the White Rabbit. The cardstock is not great. I won't lie to you guys. It is very thin. It's held up to use, but it is just very thin, and I worry that it is going to rip. They are beautiful though, and borderless, which is lovely. They have nice, bright, crisp images. They're fun. They're fantastical. They're, you know, they're what you expect from an updated Alice in Wonderland, I suppose. Again, they're not that more vintage woodcut look like the other deck, like the Wonderland Tarot, but they are beautiful. And again, they still follow the story, they still follow the imagery of the story, just in a more updated, kind of modernized look. And I don't know, I really enjoy Alice. I enjoy the characters, I enjoy the colors, I enjoy, you know, all of the fantastical qualities that there's Humpty Dumpty as the King of Swords that come along with the story of Alice. So yeah, those are all upside down. Another great deck. Again, I wish the cardstock was a little better. I wish the backs were reversible, but the book alone is worth the purchase of this deck. I feel like, again, if you're looking to make that connection between the stories and the deck, it does a really nice job of doing that. So I don't know, I missed one. Me personally, I enjoy having both decks because I use one kind of as more of a learning deck because of the book, and the other one, again, is just a great deck to have because of the artwork. I'm gonna call it here. We're at 20 minutes. I talk too much. It's going to take me a lifetime to get through these. But I'm going to stop this and I will see you in part 2. Thanks for watching. Bye.